And I think if you were to ask sort of any of us really, we'd probably tell you it was one of the best sort of months of our lives. It was very inspiring and fun, and I think you can probably hear that across the record. So the song that I guess kicked everything off, unsurprisingly, was Back in Love City, which was written downstairs actually. And when I first started singing it, wasn't entirely sure what it meant, but I think it led to some conversations and some ideas and some loose concepts about where Love City might be and what it might mean and how we could kind of take that further. And so I guess that was like the catalyst. And I think I guess you're always writing every day, but often when you're on tour, there's not much time or space to do that properly. So we came off the road in sort of September 2019, and then I went out to LA, and that's when we sort of really started to, I guess, accelerate and kind of really focus on this record. Right, so loosely speaking, the theme is, or the themes are those based around this fictional dystopian or utopian city, however you want to view it, Love City. And I think still as a band we're sort of disagreeing and riffing on what exactly that is and where exactly that is. But loosely speaking, it's this sort of city where emotions are these finite sort of commodities and properties, and people go there to sort of plug in and to feel love and hate and hope and anger and excitement and whatever it may be, because they've sort of forgotten how to do that in the outside world. And I guess we were fighting for quite a long time the idea that it was a concept record. I think it's, you know, it's not this like prog opus, but I guess that is the, you know, it's a conceptual record. So yeah. So we officially sort of finished the record pre-COVID in December 2019, came back home, and then pretty soon the pandemic hit. And I think initially that was quite annoying, but with retrospect, it actually gave us some time and some space to add to and hopefully improve the record. We added an extra song. We added some additional production with Friars, and I guess it also helped us sort of like get everything, you know, in a good place creatively and visually and all that sort of stuff. I will say it's reframed, for me at least, like the meaning behind a lot of the music and stuff. I think it's like funny to me listening through it now that it was written pre-COVID, because I guess so much of it feels reflective of the world in which we've been living in the last 18 months. Favorite lyric? I'm pretty proud of a lot of the lyrics on the record actually. I worked pretty hard on them again and again and again, like refining them and chipping them away. The one that always springs to mind is the chorus from Pink Water Pistols. I've been working on my mind's interior design, trying to give this place a little light. Sometimes it feels like I just can't get anything right, but I'd sit in a windowless room. Oh no, I forgot! Damn. Who cares? Something like that, I don't know. Daniel Ladinsky, who produced this record, we'd worked with him on All My Friends Falling in Love in 2018. He suggested Sonic Ranch, and I think like a big part of why we wanted to work with him is he's a vibes guy. You know, he like sets the tone and the mood, and he's an exciting and excitable person to be around. And honestly, I think the last couple of records weren't necessarily the easiest to make, and I think, you know, we really went through it with them. And this one was like the complete opposite. It was so enjoyable and easy and free-flowing. And I think if you were to ask sort of any of us really, we'd probably tell you it was one of the best sort of months of our lives. It was very inspiring and fun, and I think you can probably hear that across the record.